Hello, everyone. My name is Elaine Richter, and I am a founder and CEO of a company called MyCureAll. MyCureAll is a healthcare technology company, and our mission is to bring physical, social, and financial relief from the opioid epidemic and accelerate the acceptance of the legal cannabis industry into the main healthcare and insurance system. I've been a pharmacist for over 25 years, most of them spent in retail. I worked for CVS as a pharmacist and then a pharmacy supervisor, and then for Rite Aid as a pharmacy district manager, and for Walgreens as a district manager. And just this past year, I became the first full-time employee of MyCureAll. So my company and our management team is comprised of pharmacists, medical professionals, social workers, substance abuse and mental health professionals. And we bring the true clinical precision and extensive expertise to the medical cannabis field. MyCureAll has built a revolutionary platform that is patient pending, HIPAA compliant. The MyCureAll web application platform collects protocol information for cannabis, as well as our marketed CBD line of pharmacy-approved products. So the medical cannabis is really being established in the scientific community as a medication treatment of choice. But the current method of recommending cannabis, we can't really even say prescribing, is really inadequate. Patients spend a lot of time and money using a trial and error method to discover what cannabis strains work best to manage their symptoms. Medical professionals do not know the correct strains and dosing to recommend based on their patients' qualifying conditions. Dispensaries are unable to properly manage inventory and recommend alternative strains based on protocols. And medication-assisted treatment and harm reduction specialists are unable to recommend optimal dosing and strains. So I've mentioned something about the opioid epidemic initially and about our mission. And the way we actually entered, MyCureAll entered the world is to actually fight the opioid epidemic. What I've noticed as a pharmacist is that cannabis is an excellent option for treatment of opioid use disorders, or as a supplemental treatment for opioid use disorders. And as I started investigating different protocols and learning a lot about cannabis, that's when I figured out that cannabis can actually be used for a plethora of medical conditions. So the solution that we're offering as a medical app is really a platform for all medical cannabis. The MyCureAll app enables patients, physicians, dispensaries, and insurance companies to work hand in hand to achieve a natural solution to a lot of medical conditions. Through our patent-pending technologies, the Cannameter and the Cannameasure, doctors are able to identify and recommend specific strains of CBD products and cannabinoids for qualifying conditions and presenting symptoms. Dispensaries are able to better manage inventory of various cannabis strains while providing effective care based on patients' needs. As a matter of fact, we're currently testing the beta version of our app in several dispensaries in Pennsylvania. Insurance companies are saving money by reimbursing for medical cannabis versus paying for opioids and associated costs via treatment plans that are empowered to reduce symptoms and increase functioning in society. And patients are receiving the correct strain and strength for their medical condition, allowing for safer and more effective treatment, and allowing patients that active participation in their wellness through targeted and consistent treatment plans. Our app regularly checks in with patients to track, analyze, and guide treatment. And now I'd like to introduce my patent-pending technology. Okay, great. So hopefully this explains a little bit better how the technology works. Okay, great. So at this point, I'm taking care of all the daily day-to-day operations. All issues of compliance and legal are addressed by me with the help of our legal team. We have an attorney with experience in insurance regulations. We have an attorney that's experienced in intellectual property law and obtaining patent protection in US as well as internationally. Our global healthcare professionals have demonstrated successful planning, managing, and monitoring U.S. government, state, city, and private health system, strengthening programs for HIV, AIDS, and TB programs. So we really are here very patient-centric. Again, the team is comprised of pharmacists, doctors, and attorneys. The market opportunity in cannabis and CBD, as well as CBD, is vast. U.S. legal cannabis sales are set to more than quintuple to $41 billion by 2025. The global CBD market size was valued at $3 billion in 2018 and is expected to reach $22 billion by 2026. The global market of non-opioid pain treatments is expected to grow to $32 billion by 2024. As a company, we obviously have to show projected revenue and revenue streams. Our revenue is based on a subscription model and targeted medical marketing. Our calculations for 5-year projections provided that only 33 states remain medical cannabis legal and that we capture only 10% of the market. We are expected to really grow to the EBITDA of $53 million. Obviously, we really believe that right now, with cannabis being legal in 33 states and a number of territories, that it will become federally legal shortly. So this is some more projected revenue. We have received clearance from Department of Health and Department of Insurance to operate in 4 states currently: New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Florida. In just those 4 states, we're looking at a market size of 23 million people. And we're currently building for the rest of the country. Again, because we have to go through Department of Health and Department of Insurance, we expect to have everything available to our patients by the end of 2020. We also do have a CBD arm of the business, where we are, we have something that's a pharmacist approved CBD line. We have about eight SKUs, I believe, at this point. I do want to introduce some of the competition in the market because obviously, it's good to have some competition because it keeps you motivated and going. So the 3 real competitors that we identify is Leafly, Relief, and Strain Print. However, if you look even at the quadrants on the graph, the MyCureAll is really the less expensive and has the more features that are available to the patient. Our competitive advantage comprises from the standardized sets of protocols, as we're the only ones that are offering those protocols. We're streamlining the recommendation process from the physician and the dispensary. We are utilizing and we're preparing an insurance claim form for the patient where they can actually, at the end of the day, show to their insurer that it is less expensive to spend money on cannabis versus on Copaxone, let's say, or OxyContin, depending on the patient condition. And we're also the only ones that actually have the recommender assessments tools that are built in. So those tools can be used by a physician as well as by the patient. The only thing is that the patient will not be able to see the results of how they scored. And those assessments are PHQ-9, RODS, GAD, and PTSD. And the reason for those is people have a tendency to self-medicate, and we realize it. Someone that has PTSD may be experiencing depression or pain. Somebody that is self-medicating is maybe using it for opioid use disorder and not realizing, and is still ingesting OxyContin and fentanyl products. So we really want to make sure that if a recommender is not certain what the patient needs or what the situations the patient has, that we are able to provide it to them. So we are in the middle of a raise currently. I'm raising $2 million. We're looking to utilize the money for marketing and sales, for software development, and for operations to continue building. And part of the build, I really would like this platform to grow to a telemedicine, teletherapy platform. And we are working currently to expand our services to the global market, even though we're just building out the rest of the United States. We're already in talks with companies in South America, Australia, and Canada, because we definitely see a great potential of growing and getting our app much better and bringing it to a lot more patients. Obviously, with telemedicine, teletherapy, electronic prescribing system for cannabis, licensing of our Cannameter, sale of data, looking at the insurance companies, continuing with the medication therapy management, growth of targeted medical advertising, being that we will have all the information for the patients, as well as social services. You know, down the line, I do believe that we can partner up with different IPOs, with different investor companies. This is our great team. Again, the team is myself. Our COO is a social worker as well as a adjunct professor in Columbia University. We have great medical advisors, and we have great attorneys on staff. And our medical writer is Karen Berger. So if you ever get any pharmacy magazines, you've actually seen her face on them as well. Okay, let's just see how many more minutes we have for questions. I believe several questions came in. So I just want to address at least a couple of them while I'm running out of time. So one of the questions is regarding the pharmacist role, and how do I see the pharmacist actually working in this brave new world? Right now, only 3 states require pharmacists to be present on premises when cannabis is dispensed. And it really should not be this way. Cannabis is medication. It does have plenty of drug interactions, as you learned over the past few days. And you really need to have the pharmacist involved in prescribing. And my favorite example, and this is a great example for this group of people, is if you take a pharmacist, if you have a patient coming into a pharmacy and saying, listen, my doctor said I need an antibiotic for my ear infection, what do you recommend? And then a technician or a cashier in the pharmacy, who the only requirement is to be over 18 years of age, tells the patient, okay, well, I used the amoxicillin, it worked great for me, so why don't we try that for you? Because that's pretty much what's happening with cannabis in all the states outside the 3 states where pharmacist is required to be present. Another question that came in is asking, how do we come up with our protocols? So our protocols right now are based on analysis of 357 studies. So we've actually worked out the protocol and the algorithm with the assistance of Rutgers Medical School and University Hospital out here in New Jersey, as well as we've been working with, we started research due to COVID, we had to stop, with William Patterson University Cannabis Institute, to actually study every algorithms that we have. Our Canna measure is a subjective tool for the patient to use, but the Cannameter becomes very objective because it's based on our data as well as on the physician, as well as on the physician referral. Thank you very, very much. If you'd like to connect, I'm available obviously on LinkedIn, MyCureAll, or Elaine Richter. And you can always email me at erichter@mycureall.com. Have a great day.